dream. Very, very rarely. I always feel it as a void, something that was missing. But I do have an equivalent of dreams when I'm walking, for example, or sometimes when I'm driving very long distances, when I'm over 20 hours in the car, all of a sudden the car fills with insects and butterflies that are crowding around. My existence has a meaning when I'm trying to do a story where I know it is deep inside all of us. And there are certain things that I recognize as being in us, but they have not been articulated yet. And that's, for me, an equivalent to dream. I just try to remain a good soldier. I mean, a good soldier of cinema.
He has searched every corner of the world and collected some of the most rapturous dreams that transcended the mundane, that contributed to our collective cosmic dream.
I feel that for great filmmakers, for true artists, Werner's work opens up whole approaches, makes things possible that would not otherwise be possible.
An impossible story, an impossible task, and an impossible dream shot by someone with also is an impossible dreamer, magnified and also validated all of us also having impossible dreams.
And no one else can do the style as well. You can't really imitate this, it's impossible. I mean, you can kind of parody it, but it's impossible to actually see the world how he sees it.
I mean, the fact that you would come up with moving a ship across a mountain. What? That's fresh. That's new. That's badass. That's Werner Herzog.
Excuse me. My name is Walter Hottenhoffer and I'm in the pharmaceutical business.
Welche Comic-Strip-Serie ist das, wo Werner als Charakter vorkommt? Die Simpsons, ne? Also, wer hat das schon geschafft in letzter Zeit, dass er seinen ureigenen Akzent erfunden hat, den die Welt dann auch mag und nachmacht und komisch findet und Spaß dran hat?
I was in prison in Siberia. I spent my first winter wearing a dead man's coat, a hole in one pocket.
I mean, look at Werner's face, right? He's got a good face, right? He's got a really fascinating face, so he can just sit there and do nothing, and you, oh, yeah, fantastic, yeah.
I think many people do not know how to deal with me. They are puzzled. So I'm something that disquiets them.
All my films come out from pain. That's the source. That's where they come from, not from pleasure.
I think there's something about him that is so hypnotic.
I've dwelt among the humans. Their entire culture is built around their penises. It's funny to say they are small. It's funny to say they are big.
Man muss sich beim Werner darauf gefasst machen, dass man sich auf nichts verlassen kann. Dass alles unvorhersehbar wird. Irgendwas wird passieren.
We wanted to get a quick exterior shot of Herzog in his native habitat when things took an unexpected turn.
In Germany, I've somehow left the paved road.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about my films. For example, what was that?
Werner called and he said, I don't know quite how to tell you, but strange things have happened the last couple of days.
We quickly realised that some wacko had taken a pot shot at us with an air rifle, and Herzog had been hit.
With an air rifle, right? Some nutty fan.
He has to be very careful. Wow.
You what? You were shot? Why didn't you call the police? And so Werner said the classic Werner line, it wasn't that serious of a gunshot wound.
But you're bleeding.
I think here somewhere. Yeah.
Look, I mean, somebody shot at you and created a wound in your abdomen.
It's not significant.
Werner ate the shoe? Oh, that's right!
I mean, that sounds like it probably is true. Is it true?
Well, he cooked it. He didn't actually eat it.
Well, I believe that he could eat his shoe.
Did he eat the whole shoe?
A few questions while he's preparing it.
He makes himself a target for unlikely events because he wants that, right? He wants a fascinating life. And that will come your way if you declare you want that.
Werner ist so eine richtig mythische Figur. Ist so der Lonesome Rider.
What does memory do to human beings? How does it shift? How do we form our existence through memory? There's no truth in memory. We lived in this building here, these lower windows, and on top there was another family of refugees who were displaced by the war. That was a kitchen. It's all empty now here. This was a kitchen, but it was smaller. You see, there it was until the table here, and then there was a room.
Yeah.
There was here a room which was only that wide, not much. And there were 2 beds, Till and I, and there was only that much space to the next wall, and there was a 3rd room for my mother. So it was, and no heating in there. You see, they took the wall out.
Right.
Doesn't exist like it. But I don't want to go inside.
Why not?
No, it doesn't feel right.
Then we don't.
So, yeah.
Wir sind in München zweimal ausgebombt worden und dann hatten wir keine Heimat mehr und auf diese Weise sind wir da nach Sachrang gekommen. Unmittelbar hinter Sachrang ist die Tiroler Grenze und es ist relativ abgeschieden und es ist ein typisches Bauerndorf, fast archaisch noch.
My father did not live with us. He left the family fairly soon after my birth, and I'm glad that I didn't grow up with a father, with a commander-in-chief somehow. It was anarchy in the best sense. No rules, we set our own rules.
Die Mutter war natürlich das Zentrum und die absolute zentrale Figur für uns. Wir hatten ja auch niemand anderen. Sie war ja eine studierte Frau, eine Frau Doktor, und hatte dadurch natürlich im Dorf schon ziemlich Ansehen. Im Sinne von, wenn irgendwas war, die Frau Doktor weiß es, die Frau Doktor kann es reparieren oder richten.
We would have assigned 1 loaf of bread for the week, and my mother would make with a knife marks or grooves for Monday, Tuesday. So, and we would always be hungry, and sometimes by Friday the bread was eaten, and we would hang on her skirt and would cry and ask for something to eat. And my mother, and it's terrible. For children it's okay, but for mothers it's terrible. She one day I remember she abruptly turned around to us and very calm and very controlled said to us, if I could cut it out of my ribs, I would cut it out of my ribs, but I cannot. So you will stay hungry until Monday.
Shall we go to the waterfall?
We could have a look at the waterfall, yeah. That's my favorite place.
Let's go there.
All right. I'm not crying because of emotion. That's my place. That's where I belong. You see, sometimes I believe that people carry in them a landscape of their soul. I've spoken often about it, and in films also has become very important, but that's where I belong. That's my landscape. That's me.
Sachrang ist ein Wintersportort. Wir wollten immer Skispringen und wir haben uns selber so kleine Schanzen gebaut und sind über diese Schanzen gesprungen. Und da ist der Werner dann später auch drüber gesprungen und hat sich zum Teil da auch ziemlich wehgetan.
Yeah, that was good. That kid is good. Jetzt schauen wir mal, wer Chancen erwischt. Ja, jetzt hat... When you come over a ramp and go into an abyss, you would shrink back from it. You would lean and that would somersault you backwards. But you have to lean into it. You have to do the unnatural. When you are really flying far, you are not a human anymore. You transform yourself. You transmute yourself into a bird. I really, really wanted to fly. And I would give a lot if I could fly. It's an injustice. It's an injustice in my life that I haven't become an athlete. And it's an injustice of nature that we do not have wings.
Wir sind nach München, weil es dann halt auch wieder möglich war. Es war ja in Sachang weder für meine Brüder noch für meine Mutter irgendwelche Perspektiven zu sehen, irgendwie dort zu bleiben und etwas dort zu machen.
Er hat dann gearbeitet in einer, ja, das war so eine Art Schlosserei. Da hat er dann nachts gearbeitet und hat da geschweißt und hat da Geld verdient. Und dieses Geld hat er dann genommen und so sind die ersten Kurzfilme entstanden.
Καλημέρα σας. Τι κάνετε? 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 Τι μιλάς, μωρέ?
Nobody took me seriously because I was way too young. But I boldly went to production companies. In one of them, I remember, slapped his thighs and he shouted, "Ah, the kindergarten is trying to make movies today."
Wunderliche, wunderliche, wunderliche Welt. Alle Leute, die Wunderlichen, jagen nach dem Geld. Ja, sie jagen alle, Halle, Hallali. Jeder riecht den Braten, doch zum Essen kommt er nie.
Die Filmgeschichte der 60er Jahre war ein Fiasko.
Bravo, bravo.
Lass uns den Unsinn.
Das waren Heimatschnulzen im Gebirge oder an irgendeiner Seenplatte. Aber eine deutsche Straße kam nicht vor, deutsche Menschen, wie sie leben, kamen nicht vor und Jugendliche kamen schon überhaupt nicht vor. So ist, ohne dass das geplant war als eine Bewegung, passiert, dass in einem Jahr 65, 66 3, 4, 5 Filme unserer Generation rauskamen. Und dann hat man ein Etikett gesucht und hat das genannt, den jungen deutschen Film.
was not a school of filmmaking, not like, let's say, neorealism. Thanks God we didn't have a common style. It was individual styles and individual characters. They all lived in Munich.
Ich glaube, er war 19. Da wurde ein Drehbuchwettbewerb ausgeschrieben. Der war mit 10.000 D-Mark dotiert. Und der Werner hat sich hingesetzt und hat, glaube ich, in nicht einer Woche dieses Drehbuch geschrieben. Und er hat gesagt, ich gewinne diesen Drehbuchpreis, hat er gesagt. Ich habe immer gedacht, der ist doch völlig überspannt. Was will denn der? Er will den Drehbuchpreis gewinnen. Dann sind, glaube ich, 3 Wochen vergangen. Da ging das Telefon. Ja, hier ist die Jury. Geben Sie mir mal Ihren Bruder. Ist der da? Ja, er ist da. Er hat den Preis gewonnen.
Handelt von einem Einzelmenschen, von einem deutschen Soldaten des Zweiten Weltkriegs, der auf ein Kastell, auf einen Ausruheposten gesetzt wird mit verschiedenen Kameraden und der plötzlich aufgrund von verschiedenen sehr eigenartigen Dingen in der Umgebung plötzlich mehr und mehr verstört ist, bis er sich nur noch gewaltsam äußert. Das heißt, er wird wahnsinnig. Es ist die Geschichte einer Verstörung und die Geschichte einer radikalen und totalen Auflehnung.
He's taken something that's real, that's a quotidian landscape, and made it something utterly ecstatic. And the plot cracks open there and gives way to this moment of like oceanic consciousness where the world just expands and we're in this dream.
Und dann sah ich plötzlich einen Film, Lebenszeichen von einem gewissen Werner Herzog, und er warf mich um und ich schrieb an Lang, es gibt wieder gute deutsche Filme.
Lotte Eisner hat uns Verbindungen aufgezeigt zum Kino der 30er, 20er Jahre, die wir gar nicht kannten unbedingt. Und deshalb ist sie so wichtig gewesen, weil man hatte auf einmal das Gefühl, wir fangen nicht bei Null an, sondern wir machen da weiter, wo andere vor uns schon mal dran waren.
For years, I wanted to meet her. I didn't dare to meet her. Only through Lotte Eisner I started to see films by Werner, and I saw Nosferatu. She saw Signs of Life. She immediately said, this is finally film again after the time of Nazis. And so that brought us together, and we were kind of instant, not deep friendship, but she became my mentor, which was very important for me. Do we know from which planet you are? ¿Se sabe desde qué planeta usted viene?
I really know.
You don't know? Okay. But this is the planet here.
This is the planet, yeah. Yeah.
Your sandals are spectacular. And you're doing what here now?
So he was just making an offering to the water god over there.
Yeah.
Now he's going to come up here. He hears a voice come. He doesn't know where it's from. And it's the mountain speaking to him.
Okay.
So he's about to find out who's talking to him.
And who is the voice of the mountain?
I don't have one yet. Do you want to be an evil mountain?
No.
I'll find somebody else to be an evil mountain.
I keep telling everyone, emancipate yourself from me now. Well, I think it's good for young filmmakers. They're all professionals already to work with somebody who has much more experience. It's not that I'm saying I'm better, but I have much more experience and I can tell them what to avoid and how to avoid mistakes. And it's a sense of, in a way, it sounds awful, but a sense of duty. Because there's so many coming at me who want to learn from me or be my assistant. Some iconic sort of images to suffer from your bad preparation.
There's one filmmaker from your era.
My era is still on. Watch out. Be careful what you're saying.
Der erste Workshop war riesig. Da kommen 50 Leute, junge Leute und sind eine Woche, 10 Tage zusammen mit dem Werner. Und das macht er so, indem er sagt, jeder macht jetzt einen Film.
I don't remember her story, but we'll see her in a moment. So it's going well? Yeah. This, okay.
I admire his capacity of going behind a story that may seem impossible and making it possible, like do the doable, like he says all the time.
I've been a huge fan of Werner's work for a long time. I did an online masterclass that he has, and I gotta say, it really changed my life. So when I learned that the place where he filmed Even Dwarfs Started Small was one of the locations available, I started thinking, okay, what can I do in this place that can match the framework of the workshop?
I have not been here for over 50 years, more than half a century since the making of the film. 1969 it was finished. So it was mostly here. I see the tracks. Yeah. And here, the smallest of the midget, laughing as if there was no tomorrow. I said to him, he wanted to know how long it would take. I said, as long as there's breath in you, you have to laugh, yeah. There are images that are deeper than just a certain action or an element of a story. It's beyond a story. And that's what you have to find in your life when you're making films. You have to step beyond the facts, beyond what you normally see in theaters. it's still alive. I still see the car circling, and it's just totally alive.
Are these good memories or bad memories?
It's what I remember, and it's not good or bad. It's just part of my life. And I did good battle here, and that was that. That's how life should be lived. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Huh. The same sound, I remember it. A sound of leaves. Day, night, whenever you were here, it would be like that. Okay.
Ich bin eben auf der Suche nach neuen Bildern. Wenn Sie sich Zeitschriften durchblättern oder die Postkartenstände ansehen, dann merken Sie nämlich plötzlich, wie verbraucht diese ganzen Bilder sind. Und das ist eben auch ein Thema dieses Films, die Suche nach ganz neuen Bildern, nach Bildern, die noch nie gesehen worden sind im Kino.
This army descending through the clouds on this switchbacking trail. We've all dreamed that image. That image is in our DNA almost. And to open a film that way is to immediately force us to go on that journey with Aguirre and his men.
Wie hat er das denn drehen können? Wie war das denn möglich gewesen? Ja, ich wüsste, wie man solche Sequenzen normalerweise dreht, aber das würde ein riesiges Budget erfordern und viel Vorbereitung. Und da ist es auf einmal ja tatsächlich, als ob es fast eine Reportage über dieses Ereignis wäre. Er inszeniert das Event, alle Leute auf das Floß und dann runter den Fluss und dann let's see what happens. Das ist nicht die Haltung von einem Profi, das ist die Haltung von einem Visionär.
Diese Urwaldexpedition, die Lope de Aguirre gemacht hat, war für uns auch eine Expeditionssituation. Man musste sich auf das Wetter einstellen, man musste draußen übernachten.
Wir hatten insgesamt 11 Flöße und auf einem wohnten die Frauen, auf einem anderen wohnten die Männer. Wir hatten keinen Strom, wir hatten keine Funkgeräte, wir hatten überhaupt nichts. Wir hatten lediglich eine Kamera, die aus der Jetztzeit ist. Alles andere war 16. Jahrhundert. Hinterher kam ich zur Idee, dass wir eigentlich völlig wahnsinnig waren, so alles zu riskieren.
Die Finanzierung, die stand nicht ganz. Das hat der Lucky dann in die Hand genommen.
Lucky became the producer of the films. He has something in him which inspires confidence. And very often when things got desperate, he always somehow managed to bring us back to normal, so to speak.
Ich habe ja eine kaufmännische Ausbildung, eine kaufmännische Lehre gemacht. Und seitdem hängt mir nach, dass ich mit Finanzen mich auskennen würde. Und dann bin ich dann nach Peru über 20 Stationen und kam dann da an. Da standen 300 Extras und haben gestreikt und wollten erst wieder weg, wenn sie das Geld bekamen. Und das habe ich dann Gott sei Dank gebracht. Und im Urwald, auf dem Floß, mit einem Rucksack mit Geld und vorne das Seil, damit ich nicht runter will. Das war wirklich dramatisch.
When I wrote the screenplay, I immediately saw that was Kinski. He had to do it. Of course I knew it was gonna come at me.
Bei Aguirre weiß ich noch, da war Kinski noch sehr unsicher. Er war als Verrückter abgestempelt und für einen jungen Regisseur war es schwierig, einerseits diese Schicht von eingelernten theatralischen Dingen zu durchbrechen und andererseits diese Angst zu durchbrechen.
I knew I have to domesticate the wild beast, not to make it a tame beast, but domesticate it to keep a certain frame, like here the window. You have to have a frame, and within this frame there's cinema. But don't ask me how hard it was.
Sie sind kein Regisseur! Sie müssen bei mir lernen!
Nein, natürlich lerne ich nicht.
Sie sind ein Anfänger!
Natürlich bin ich
ein Zwergenregisseur sind Sie, aber nicht ein Regisseur für mich! Sie können jetzt zu mir kommen und sagen, Herr Kinski, glauben Sie,
nein,
auch David Lean hat das gemacht und auch Brecht und Sie werden es auch tun, mein Lieber!
Werde ich nicht tun.
Das ist auch falsch immer kolportiert worden. Ich hätte ihn also nur noch mit dem Gewehr von hinter der Kamera dirigiert. Das ist also völliger Unfug. Ich bin also unbewaffnet gewesen und habe ihm aber erklärt, ich hätte ein Gewehr und ich würde ihn erschießen. Das heißt, ich würde mich erschießen, aber ihn zuerst. Er würde zuerst geerntet.
Ich, der Zorn Gottes, werde meine eigene Tochter heiraten und mit ihr die reinste Dynastie gründen, die je die Erde gesehen hat. Zusammen werden wir über diesen ganzen Kontinent herrschen. Wir halten durch. Ich bin der Zorn Gottes. Wer sonst ist mit mir?
I knew there was something big. There was something that others would not be able to make. And I knew Kinski's performance would be of a quality that we have not seen for a long, long time in German cinema or in cinema worldwide. You haven't seen anything like this, and I knew it.
Aguirre hat sich kein Mensch dafür interessiert, als er fertig war. Überhaupt nicht. Auch die Bundesfilmpreiskommission hat mit diesem Film nichts anfangen können. Lotte Eisner hat einfach die Aguirre-Kopie genommen, ist nach Frankreich gefahren und hat die wesentlichsten französischen Filmkritiker in Paris zusammengetrommelt. Und schließlich gab es in 5, 6 der größten Zeitungen in Paris unglaublich positive Kritiken. Ja, eine einzige Kopie in Paris, im Cinéma de Ursuline, hatte 100.000 Zuschauer im Jahr. Eine Kopie.
Back then, it was an event. If it was playing somewhere, you might go to Philadelphia to go see it, or travel to go see this film. It was life. You know, it's like you bit into like an exquisitely sour and sweet fruit that you never tasted before.
Aguirre war der nackte Wahnsinn. Dass ein Film so eine Karriere gemacht und so in die Welt geht, das war für uns alle ein großes Zeichen. Weil der hieß, wir könnten das dann auch im Prinzip.
he was making the same film, which I do believe most filmmakers do that. I think he had the same character. They're in different situations, and he was looking for the same thing. And I think that might be his own struggle in life that you see almost in every character.
Von Anfang an hat ihn nur so eine mythische Dimension interessiert, getriebene, immer eine Hauptperson, die ein Schicksal hat in dem Sinne, dass irgendetwas in ihm verlangt, er muss das jetzt machen.
Es geht ja doch darum, dass da Menschen dargestellt werden, die in einer bestimmten extremen Situation sind, weil wir, glaube ich, daran eben mehr über uns Bescheid lernen. Ich zähle bis 3 und sie werden langsam die Augen öffnen, ohne dass sie dabei aufwachen werden. 1. 2. 3. Öffnen Sie langsam die Augen, ganz langsam. Sie wachen dabei nicht auf und Sie schauen gebannt in diese Richtung. Da ist etwas Unbekanntes, dort wollen Sie hinfahren. In questions of life or death, one should walk. You know that I walked because Lotte Eisner was critically ill, and somehow everything protested inside of me, and it was almost like a pilgrimage that I did. And I knew if I came on foot, she would be out of hospital. And I knew if I did not walk up against it, she would die.
Er machte sich also im November 1974 auf den Weg zu Fuß von München-Pasing nach Paris. Und er sagte, wenn ich in Paris ankomme, dann lebt die Lotte noch und dann wird sie weiterleben. Einfach durch meinen schieren Willen. Und über diese Zeit hat er ein Tagebuch geführt. Und tatsächlich, als Werner dann ankam in Paris, lebte Lotte und lebte auch noch bis 1983 weiter.
Then she looked at me and smiled very delicately, and since she knew that I was someone on foot and therefore unprotected, she understood me. For one splendid fleeting moment, something mellow flowed through my deadly tired body. I said to her, "Open the window. From these last days onward, I can fly." scouting locations in Brittany. I come across a place, Karnak, where there are 4,000 gigantic rocks erected. And I said to myself, I'm not going to leave here until I know how I would do it. And I developed some sort of Stone Age technology. And a friend of mine came to Munich and he said, I have a great story. There was this robber baron, José Fermín Fitzcarrald. He moved the ship from one river system to another one across an isthmus. And he disassembled the ship into hundreds of parts. And all of a sudden I said, I have a film, but it has to be a steamboat over a mountain, pulled with Stone Age technology, and it has to have the music of Caruso.
Im Urwald ein Schiff über den Berg zu ziehen, fand ich jetzt doch eine wilde Idee. Gell? Wie das dann genau im Detail, konnte ich mir gar nicht vorstellen. Wir wussten ja lange nicht, wer den Fitzcarraldo spielen sollte.
I even thought about somebody who looked like a peasant, like a real gruff peasant, Warren Oates. Never materialized.
Und dann fand Werner immer Boumedienne, der algerische Präsident, wäre ein guter Typ, wäre auch gut gewesen, war natürlich unmöglich.
Jack Nicholson was interested in it. He wanted to work with me.
Der wollte, glaube ich, $5 Millionen. Da wäre von unserem Budget dann nicht mehr so viel übergeblieben.
So it never materialized, but he was in a way a candidate.
Und dann kam die Idee mit Jason Robards. Und dann habe ich in New York lange mit den Agenten, die waren natürlich alle äußerst skeptisch, weil der Jason Robards war, ich glaube, überhaupt nie im Ausland, aber geschweige denn im Urwald. Und dann haben wir eben zu drehen doch begonnen. Dann kamen die nächsten Probleme.
There was one difficulty after the other, lack of money. Technical problems. We had 2 plane crashes.
Damals begann gerade der Krieg zwischen Peru und Ecuador und unser Drehort war genau dort in dem Dreieck.
It went completely bananas.
I shouldn't make movies anymore. Should go to a lunatic asylum right away.
Yes. Wilbur? That's it.
Mick Jagger was a very important part. He was a comrade and sidekick of Fitzcarraldo.
We want the opera in Quito! We need opera here! Don't you want music in your soul?
Nobody had really discovered what a great actor he was and would have been. He has some sort of a strange, mad intensity, and he has a fire within. And then Jason Robards became ill, and we flew him out, and he would never return. His doctors wouldn't allow him.
Am Drehort wollte er auch schon so einen Defibrillator haben. Ging gar nicht, weil auch der Strom ständig sich geändert hätte.
Da sagte Nick, ihr wisst nicht, wann ihr weiter drehen könnt. Der ist jetzt in Amerika. So lange kann ich nicht warten. Ich habe eine Tour in Europa zu machen. Ich muss weg.
Und dann waren alle noch in so einem Ressort am Strand, um zu warten, ob der wieder zurückkommt, der Roberts. Und nach 3 Wochen war klar, der kommt nicht mehr. Und dann haben wir die Produktion abgebrochen.
For me, writing was always my last resort, my last anchor on which I could hold on. My only consolation. So this here has great value because it anchored me. I worry about the size of my handwriting. That's alarming. Why is it that it becomes microscopic? I have no explanation. I can only decipher it with flip glasses, sometimes even larger ones, and I need a lot of light. Yeah, I have to read it like this, and then I have to be very close. And almost an entire year was so terrifying that I can't deal with it until today.
If I abandon this project, I would be a man without dreams, and I don't want to live like that. I live my life, or I end my life with this project.
Die logische Entwicklung war dann eigentlich Kinski. Der fing an zu schreien, aber nicht jetzt, um sich zu beschweren, sondern aus Happiness und aus Freude. Und er hätte immer schon gesagt, dass er der Einzige wäre, der den Fitzgerald spielen könnte. Und so ist es dann auch gekommen.
Okay.
Kinski war nur an sich selber interessiert und war absolut interessiert, einen Terror zu verbreiten, nur um jede kleine Bewegung von ihm sozusagen ins Göttliche zu erheben. Ne?
Und jetzt mal, schrei ich oder schrei ich nicht? Und du sagst es mir nicht, aber ich schrei aber nicht. Leg mich doch am Arsch weg. Der Moment ist überhaupt gekommen, wo ich dir in die Fresse haue. Was? Diesmal schlage ich dir in die Fresse, darauf kannst du dich verlassen, du. Pass mal auf, du. Ich mache Wirbel in Amerika. Pass mal auf, du. Ich sage noch nicht zu Ende, dumme Sau. Hast du so ein Arschloch? Lucky, so ein Arschloch ist verantwortlich für deine Produktion?
Er hat bei seinen Schreiereien, bevor das Drehen anfing, gleichzeitig seinen Text gelernt. Also das war so seine Masche.
Diese Kirche bleibt so lange geschlossen, bis die Stadt ihr eigenes Opernhaus hat. Ich will das Opernhaus. Ich will mein Opernhaus! Ich will eine Oper haben! Diese Kirche bleibt geschlossen, bis diese Stadt eine Oper hat! Ich werde meine Oper bauen! Ich will eine Oper bauen! Ich will eine Oper haben!
Es hat zum Glück Gott sei Dank funktioniert, aber wenn man eben hinter die Kulissen sieht und sieht, warum es dann funktioniert hat, dann denkt man sich schon, ja, ups, das hätte natürlich an jeder Stelle auch schief gehen können. Und zwar fundamental schief.
We couldn't move the ship by a single inch. It was monstrous, a huge steamboat. You see it in the film, and it was over 300 tons, I believe, and that's big. I knew I could do it technically, and I could do it with the intensity of vision.
Ich war dann auf der Premiere des Films. War natürlich hin und weg und habe mich wahnsinnig gefreut, dass das so ein Knaller geworden ist. Der Werner war hinterher richtig stolz. Er wusste, er hatte was gemacht, was ihn überdauern würde. Ne? Das war schon klar, dass er damit ein richtiges Meisterwerk geliefert hat.
Filme machen ist keine gute Arbeit. Ist keine gute Arbeit.
Auf der menschlichen Seite meinst du jetzt?
Ja, auf der menschlichen Seite. Man soll es eigentlich nicht zu oft machen. Man dürfte nicht zu viele Filme drehen. Man muss da sehr, sehr vorsichtig sein, haushalten.
What's the story behind these stones?
There's no story. They're very round, but I found really, really totally round ones, and that's what I remember of this place. And they're much deeper embedded in my memory than anything else here. So it's very strange. You see, they're very, very well rounded.
This is stone from the volcano.
It's all volcanic, and the sea makes them roll up the beach. And they do it for 10,000 years, and then they're round.
Gib mir nochmal diese Wasserflasche da. Lieber Gott, lass das Ding jetzt funktionieren.
Cobra Verde was particularly difficult because Kinski was completely out of control, all the way to become violent. Violent, not just destroying a set or so, which he frequently would do, but attacking people, including me, with a rock.
Nein! Nein! Nimm die Gefahr! Nein!
Bleib zurück! Er lässt sich jetzt von seinen Frauen erwürgen.
Der hat das Material aus der Kamera rausgerissen. Der hatte, weil er sagt, das ist scheiße, das darf nicht kopiert, das darf nicht mal entwickelt werden, das darf nichts.
Der war krank. Gab ständige Schwierigkeiten und Reibereien mit ihm. Viel schlimmer als bei den Filmen vorher, viel schlimmer.
Ich glaube, das menschliche Schicksal, so à la Kinski, das war ausgelotet. Das war auch klar mit Cobra Verde, das geht nicht mehr. Diese Formel, das kann man nicht fortsetzen.
There's not so much difference between the documentaries and feature films. I said I'm not going to make a documentary about Kuwait and the invasion of the Iraqi troops under Saddam Hussein. And I present it as some sort of a cosmic event where there's a crime against creation itself. It was at the Berlinale. The audience was extremely hostile. There was a shout of disgust. One single roar of boos and screaming at me, aestheticizing the horror. And people, some people spat at me, and I said, "You're all wrong. Time is on my side." And you should have heard the uproar against me. And it didn't matter at all. I stood my ground and faced what was coming.
He lied who he was. He said he was a stuntman. And I thought, what terrible luck I have. That just figures that I would fall in love with a man who is going to be constantly at risk. We fell for each other right away.
I just rushed back home, put my house in order, and came back and gave away pretty much everything that I owned. I only owned a toothbrush, which I had in my jacket, in my pocket, and that got me in trouble at customs because I came without luggage. Nothing, not even an attaché case.
Ich glaube, es war auch so, dass er mit Deutschland nichts mehr anfangen konnte. Nicht nur, dass seine Filme nicht mehr finanziert wurden, sondern auch mit dem Fördersystem, mit dieser ganzen Bürokratie, die dahinter steckt und steht, mit dieser ganzen Spießigkeit. Und ich glaube, das war ihm alles zu viel.
What could he be doing there? It seems uncanny. It has rejuvenated his own productivity, his own career, and perhaps the love affair with America also created a love affair that America now has with Werner Herzog. America got him. and he certainly gets America.
I like to be in a place where you feel that things are wildly in gestation, in the making. And here people just don't talk about it, they actually do it. So,
Okay, Werner, what is this place?
the Museum of Jurassic Technology, one of the very few places I really love here. He's a wonderful man who created this. Let's go inside here. So this is Iguazu Fall. I'm on the Brazilian side. On the other side, where the camera is Argentina. And this is the Sonnabend collection, the Sonnabend Hall. It's about this man, Geoffrey Sonnabend, an inventor and engineer, who actually built a bridge across from Argentina to Brazil. A rainstorm swept it away, but in that evening, there was an opera singer, this woman here, who had a wonderful voice. He immediately fell in love. To verify things, we see even things that she wore that night. And the beauty of it, the story is completely invented. There's no borderline between reality and fiction anymore. That's what I love about David Wilson.
In the 19th century, people understood, felt, acknowledged that we were this close to knowing everything. Over the last 100 or 150 years, that's kind of proven not to be true. So it's very interesting how what is considered truth evolved.
Nobody can define really what truth is. We know it's a movement, it's an approximation. Into it. We move towards some vague goal, and that alone is worth it.
These penguins are all heading to the open water to the right. But one of them caught our eye, the one in the center. He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains.
Niemand weiß, wo dieser Pinguin wirklich hin ist. Und man weiß nicht, ob nicht dann, nachdem wir die Kamera ausgeschaltet haben, nicht wieder umgedreht hat.
That doesn't feel like he's misleading us. That means that that's him showing us a layer of reality that's always there that we might not see otherwise.
And here he's heading off into the interior of the vast continent. With 5,000 kilometers ahead of him, He's heading towards certain death.
Truth is something we do not know what it is, but we sense there's something that is beyond facts. And how can we articulate it in poetry or in film or in other media?
My favorite example of this is Bells from the Deep. There's these monks who genuflect across the ice, and in like Lake Baikal or something in Siberia, this huge frozen lake. And while they're praying to the spirit in the lake, he's placed, and this isn't false, but he's placed figure skaters and had them skate among them. And a whole world of spirit and absurdity and magic opens up.
I start to invent, or I start to stylize, but in such a way that it is not lying at you. It gives you an almost ecstasy, a different position, a different perspective, an illumination.
Es hat sich dann auch natürlich die Sicht auf den Werner verändert, indem man ihn dann immer mehr als Dokumentarfilmer sah, auch international.
Oh, hi, Grinch. Hi. And she has kind of an aggressive attitude. Hi. If I turn around too much, she'll bite me. It's okay. Hi, how are you? How are you?
That crazy documentary about the man with the bears. Who would even consider making a documentary about this?
Don't you do that. Back off.
Grizzly Man is special because it's built around an archive of material.
Don't do it. It's okay. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Timothy Treadwell basically standing in front of the indifferent wilderness of Alaska with these carnivorous, hungry, indifferent, to him at least, bears, and presenting them as if they were like the stuffed puppets on a children's show like The Muppets or Sesame Street.
Love you, Rowdy. Give it to me, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And becoming increasingly desperate for a kind of glory and fame that this wilderness reveals right behind him, reveals to be of no consequence. And to see him fall apart on his own camera.
Timothy Treadwell and Amy Huguenot's remains came in this large metal can. Inside this metal can was a plastic bag, one for Timothy and one for Amy.
This is Timothy's camera. During the fatal attack, there was no time to remove the lens cap. Jewel Palovac allowed me to listen to the audio.
I hear rain. rain and I hear, Amy, get away, go away. Truly, you must never listen to this.
I know, Werner. I'm never going to.
Die Szene mit dem Kopfhörer, das entstand im Moment. Das war so die richtige Einstellung. Ich konnte eh nichts anderes machen, weil ich hätte auch die Kamera nicht umstellen können oder so. Und das ist sowas, wo der Moment und die Intuition zusammenlaufen und dann passiert das, was halt dann was Besonderes ist.
Grizzly Man for sure established a certain Werner in the popular imagination of Americans. I see it as a turning point.
We are honored to have with us today Werner Herzog, who is still garnering well-deserved praise for his 2005 documentary Grizzly Man, which recently was released on DVD, and whose body of work will continue to be lauded by fans for generations to come. Werner, it's truly an honor to have you on our show. Last year, Grizzly Man was released. It did well financially. It was very well reviewed. And there's a lot of press that came out wondering why it was not nominated for an Academy Award.
It is as it is, and what could I ask more than having lots of enthusiastic audiences?
Right.
The film doing well, being very well accepted by critics, so it couldn't get better.
Right here together, looking to your right.
Even as the biggest Hollywood actors, they are afraid, some of them, others might be very content, but some of them are afraid stagnation and convention. And when they watch Werner's films, they go, wow, this person is going to put me through something that is going to strip away all my conventions, and he's not afraid to put me through that.
I bet they think about you when you were a little girl. Wonder how it all happened, yeah?
Nicolas Cage became the architect of his figure, but sometimes it was very funny. After the third day or so, he said, "Why is the bad lieutenant so bad?" And I said to him, "Nicolas, you know, there's such a thing like the bliss of evil, so go for it." And he said, "I got it."
What are you doing?
There's just the kind of wildness that very, very few directors can generate, but that he also seems to attract to himself. There's absolutely no one like Herzog at all.
The idea of being part of his cinematic world and his storytelling and just being, as I say, in Werner world was incredibly appealing, because I'm an actor who seeks auteurs to work with, but I'm also happy to go anywhere if they're worth it. He's worth it. My kiss shall liberate you.
Oh,
Gertie, will you please not marry me?
Absolutely.
You watch all these Herzog movies and expect this absolutely chaotic atmosphere, and it was one of the most classical movies I've ever worked on, and kind of very calm, like very elegantly shot, and nothing particularly crazy happened at all.
Having a real ant's nest stuck on my head and hung upside down, and we were spinning so wildly that... And then we hadn't figured out a word to say enough was enough. So I'm in the film going, stop, stop, because I feel like my eyeballs are going to pop out my head, and
They think I'm just really into it and they keep spinning me more and more. And I swear, to this day, I can't really go on roller coasters and stuff the same way as I used to. I think it permanently damaged me. I couldn't stand up for like an hour afterwards until eventually they realized I was shouting, Werner! Sometimes I speak to people and they kind of talk about him like he's a man with his hair on fire all the time, like everything's big and at top level. And I think there's a bit of a crossover with Kinski maybe with that, you know, and the performances in some of his films and everything like that. But I also do think that Werner is one of the most lovely and gentle people that I've ever come across.
Tiny and helpless, the baby penguins are frozen with fear. They know if they fall from this cliff, they will surely die. Gunther, give them a shove.
He's such genius, be able to maintain that purity in some of his work and yet still be part of the pop culture. And that is true weapon. I think very few people can find that balance.
Life is heartless and brutal, and the cosmos is indifferent to us all. I'd say goodbye, but what's the point?
Werner hat das Bild des Deutschen in Amerika ausgefüllt. Wie kein anderen. Die wussten eigentlich gar nicht mehr, was sind eigentlich Deutsche. Und dann hat ihnen der Werner so einen irgendwie sympathischen, aber immer noch etwas fanatischen Deutschen vorgeführt.
Werner is a form of Darth Vader. And I say that because of power. Darth Vader never had to yell. His voice, if he raised his voice, it would go up an octave. But it wouldn't be screaming. Werner doesn't have to do that. Nobody else that I've ever worked with, and I've worked with a lot of people in front of and behind the camera, nobody like Werner. Nobody.
Look outside. Is the world more peaceful since the revolution? I see nothing but death and chaos. I would like to see the baby.
It is asleep.
When I saw The Mandalorian on a screen in a theater, large theater in Hollywood, and when my name came up, there was a shout of joy.
Come on, Werner, we love you!
And they meant me. And it has not happened to me in my life.
In Germany, there is not so much an understanding of the range that, you know, sometimes I have a feeling that they think that after Fitzcarraldo, Werner shot nothing. The same in America, there's an American hubris because they think that Werner never made anything, you know, before. But Werner doesn't really care what anybody thinks. He just keeps going.
I made 3 films in a single year, and in last year, which was COVID and you couldn't move much out, I still made a long feature film, and I wrote 2 books. And I'm also proud, of course, I want to show it. I did that. And it's only within a calendar year. So here I am. Each individual shapes its own movie. We live partially in a world of fantasy that we have created. How does memory relate to that?
Where is the source of that? Does it shoot out from that rock? You never know.
I never knew.
And you didn't see where it comes out?
And I don't want to know where it comes from.
I agree.
And until today it would be easy to find out where is the origin of the waterfall. And until today I do not know. And I do not want to know.
I was a wing in heaven blue, on the ocean, soared in the rain, and I was free. I needed nobody. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And if there's one thing could do for you, you'd be a wing in heaven blue.
Lena, what else should I do?
This was really good. It really was.
Should I eliminate some of my stuff? Ignore what
only Thomas can do that.
Ignore what I did, what I said. Oh yeah, I said it, and it's caught on tape. It's caught.
It's
so
online already.
Yes,
already.
Yes,
Microsoft already caught
yes,
you.
too late indeed.
Yes.